United States probably has the best coaster collection on the planet, but which states are the best for coasters? As I'm sure you saw by the title and thumbnail, I'm going to count down the top 10 best states for roller coasters. The criteria on how I judge the best states for coasters are based off A, the coasters that are actually in the state and how good they are, and B, what is surrounding the state. I mean, what parks are still nearby, even though they're not in the exact same state. I'll probably be able to explain it better when I actually get into the list, so without further ado. Georgia is being carried by one park in particular, being Six Flags Over Georgia. Twisted Cyclone, Goliath, Daredevil Dive, and many more serve as some excellent coasters. We also can't forget about Fun Spot Atlanta, housing most definitely the best coaster in the state and one of the best in the country, being Air Force One. I don't think Georgia would have made the list if it weren't for Air Force One. This coaster is that good. At least it looks that good. I haven't actually ridden it, so what do I know? There is also Wild Adventures, which has a weak coaster collection, but here is actually a decent park, so it adds a little more. It also helps that the drive to some other big parks isn't too bad. I'm going to use Atlanta as my sample city since it's the biggest in Georgia, and the drive from there to Carowinds and Charlotte, North Carolina is a little under 4 hours, which isn't too bad. That's another awesome coaster collection over there with Fury 325, Thunder Striker, Copperhead Strike, and Afterburn being the standouts. Atlanta is also about 4 hours away from Dollywood and Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which has another incredible coaster collection with Lightning Rod, Tennessee Tornado, and Thunderhead being some of the standouts over there. Georgia overall is a very good coaster collection and is only helped by its surrounding states. Indiana's actual coaster lineup probably isn't as good as Georgia's collection, but Indiana is helped more by its surrounding states. The state has 2 major parks being Indiana Beach and Holiday World. Indiana Beach has a few decent coasters, with Cornwall Express being the standout and Lost Coaster being one of the weirdest coasters ever built.
What the hell is even that?
Then there's Holiday World, which is the star of Indiana, housing Voyage, which according to many people is the best wooden coaster in North America and one of the best coasters out there. The park is also home to Legend and Raven, 2 more amazing Woodies, and Thunderbird, one of 2 launched wind coasters in the United States. Then there's the surrounding parks, and we're going to use Indianapolis as the sample city here. Kings Island in Mason, Ohio is one of my all-time favorite parks with one of the greatest coaster collections in the country, and the drive from Indianapolis is only 2 hours. Kentucky Kingdom in Louisville, Kentucky isn't quite as good as Kings Island, but it has a very strong 1-2 punch with Lightning Run and Storm Chaser. This park is also roughly a 2-hour drive away from Indianapolis. If you're willing to drive a little more, there's Cedar Point, the literal roller coaster capital of the world, located in Sandusky, Ohio, which is about a 4-hour drive from Indianapolis. There's also Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois, which is regarded as one of the best legacy Six Flags parks, and also has a very deep coaster lineup, with Goliath, Max Force, and Raging Bull being just a few standouts. The collection of coasters in Indiana isn't incredible, but it's very good, and it's carried by how good the surrounding states are. With Missouri, the surrounding states don't have much to offer, but the coaster collection inside Missouri is what places it on the list. You have 2 Six Flags parks with Six Flags St. Louis and Worlds of Fun. God, it's still weird that both of these parks are in the same chain now. These may be lower tier Six Flags parks, but they still provide a solid coaster collection, with St. Louis having Mr. Freeze and American Thunder, and Worlds of Fun having a very solid top 3 with Prowler, Mamba, and Patriot. The standout of Missouri, though, is easily Silver Dollar City, arguably one of the best parks in the entire country. The coaster collection is great with Outlaw Run, Time Traveler, Wildfire, and Powder Keg, but the park itself is just very nice. It's got a cave tour, it's got cinnamon bread, and a very engulfing atmosphere, which I think gives Missouri some bonus points, even though these things aren't exactly coaster related. As I said before though, the surrounding parks aren't that great here. I'll use Kansas City as my sample city since it's one of the biggest in the state, and it's about 3 hours from Adventureland in Altoona, Iowa. It's not an amazing park, but it has Monster as its standout coaster, and it overall looks like a pretty good park. There's also Lost Island in Waterloo, Iowa, which is about 4.5 hours away from Kansas City, but for a relatively small park, I'm not sure I'd really say that drive is worth it for most people. The new RMC Raptor might have something to say about that though. Six Flags Great America is about a 4.5-hour drive away from St. Louis, which is good, but other than that, there's nothing all that great surrounding Missouri. The coaster lineup in the state itself though is so good that it's worthy of the number 8 spot on this list. Texas is similar to Missouri in that the coaster collection in the nearby states isn't great, except with Texas, it's even worse. Like, there's nothing good anywhere even close. It might as well be a damn island. That being said, the coaster collection in Texas is awesome. You have 2 Six Flags parks with Over Texas serving the Dallas area and Fiesta Texas serving the San Antonio area. With Over Texas, you have the first ever RMC with New Texas Giant, Mr. Freeze, Shockwave, and plenty more. Then with Fiesta Texas, you have the RMC 1-2 punch with Iron Rattler and Wonder Woman. You also have Superman, Dr. Diabolical, and more. Fiesta Texas is also the prettiest legacy Six Flags park according to many, which adds some bonus points. Plus you also have SeaWorld San Antonio serving, get this, San Antonio. There you had Texas Stingray and Steel Eel being an excellent top 2, plus there are plenty of animal exhibits and shows for you to check out, but if that's not your thing, I get it. You even have a couple of boardwalk parks such as Iron Shark at Galveston Island Historic Pleasure Pier and Boardwalk Bullet at Keno Boardwalk, which seems to be genuinely one of the best coasters in the state. The coaster collection surrounding Texas is non-existent, but it's more than made up for by the collection within the state. The first of these states I've actually been to, Virginia, is carried by its 2-star parks, Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens Williamsburg. At Kings Dominion, you have Pantherian, formerly Intimidator 305, which is one of the best and most intense coasters I've ever ridden. You also have Twisted Timbers, rounding out one of the best 1-2 punches on the planet, plus the brand new Rapterra helps round out the lineup, and this park has seen a lot of improvement over the last few years with the Jungle Expedition area, and it looks awesome. I can't wait to check it out this year. Then there's Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which I love even more than Kings Dominion. Pantheon is one of the most underrated coasters out there, and Verbolten is also super underrated. You also have 3 solid B&Ms with Alpengeist, Griffin, and Apollo's Chariot, making for a very complete lineup. BGW is also well regarded as one of the most beautiful parks in the country, and I definitely see why. It's gorgeous, for the most part. Then there's the surrounding parks, and we'll use Richmond as our sample city for this one. The previously mentioned Carowinds is a little over 4 hours away. Six Flags America in Bowie, Maryland, which is a smaller Six Flags park, but it still has a decent collection with Superman as the standout, and is a little over 2 hours away. Six Flags Grand Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, my home park, has one of the best coaster collections in the country, with El Toro, Nitro, and Jersey Devil being the standouts, and is about a 4.5 hour drive away, which for the coasters this good, just a little under 4 hours away, you also have an even better coaster collection of Hershey Park in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Wildcats Revenge and Skyrush is one of the greatest 1-2 punches out there, and the lineup is also so much deeper than just those two, with Stormrunner, Candymonium, and Fahrenheit being just a few more awesome coasters in that lineup. The overall lineup in Virginia is awesome, and the surrounding parks are more than good enough to back it up. Bringing us into the top 5 is my home state of New Jersey. Some people may be surprised that New York isn't even on the list, but New Jersey climbs all the way up to number 5, but let me tell you why. Great Adventure. Great Adventure carries New Jersey because it's the only really good park for coasters in the state. That said, the coasters are really good. El Toro is still in my personal top 5 coasters I've ridden, and Nitro, Jersey Devil, Batman, and the brand new Flash helps round out one of the best supporting lineups of all time. Plus, there's Nickelodeon Universe, located in the American Dream Mall, that has TMNT Shell Razor, the world's steepest roller coaster, and it's honestly worth going here just for this coaster alone. Just check the website and make sure it's open. Plus, there's the Jersey Boardwalk, which aside from maybe one state, has the best boardwalk coaster collection. You have Maury's Piers with Great Nor'easter, which is honestly a very underrated coaster. I know it's an SLC, but trust me, it's really good. Then there's Gale Force at Planet's Castaway Cove, which looks great, Hydrus at Casino Pier, and plenty of others I'm sure I'm missing. What really propels NJ into the top 5 though is the surrounding parks. We'll just base this off of New Brunswick as a sample city, which has Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania, just an hour and a half away, which isn't the best park, but it's got some decent coasters with Steel Force, Talon, Iron Menace, and Possessed as some standouts. Hershey Park is just about 2.5 hours away, and as I said before, it's an incredible coaster lineup. Nobles in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania is a smaller park, but it's made up for with its charm, and Phoenix is, according to many, one of the best wooden coasters in the country. You could even go to New York, where you have the iconic Coney Island not too far away. Legoland New York is about an hour and a half away, and Great Escape is a smaller park but still charming, and it's 3.5 hours away. Six Flags New England in Agawam, Massachusetts has the elite 1-2 punch of Superman and Wicked Cyclone, and that park is only 3 hours away. The previously mentioned Six Flags America is only 3 hours away, and even Kings Dominion is only a little more than 4 hours away. The surrounding lineup is incredible, and I'm very lucky to call NJ my home state. I'm sure going into the video, some of you watching thought California would be number 1. If this was based off of just the collection in the state, there's definitely a solid chance California would be number 1. The thing about California though is that the surrounding states are ass. At least roller coaster wise. The closest they have is Vegas, which is really not a coaster hotspot. Then if you want to get us on decent coasters from there, then you have to go to Lagoon in Utah, which is not even close to Cali. And that's for Lagoon, not Cedar Point or Kings Island, or even on the level of something like Six Flags New England. Lagoon. That being said though, the lineup in California itself is incredible. You have Disneyland, California Adventure, Universal Studios, California's Great America, for now, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, Knott's Berry Farm, SeaWorld San Diego, the Boardwalk Parks, and one other park. What is it again? Oh yeah, Six Flags Magic Mountain. The park with the most coasters in the world. Not just the country, the world. The collection speaks for itself. It's elite. You have amazing coasters such as X2 and Twisted Colossus at Magic Mountain, Ghost Rider and Accelerator at Knott's, Gold Striker and Railblazer at California's Great America, Joker at Discovery Kingdom, and many more I'm not even mentioning. Even though the surrounding lineup is god-awful, the lineup of coasters in California is so good that it's able to be number 4 on this list. It might be a hot take having Florida over California because on paper, Cali looks like the better state. I think I actually slightly prefer the coaster lineup in Florida though. The state may not have as many coasters, but the quality is there. This may just be me, but I don't think Cali has a single coaster that looks as good as either Velocicoaster or Iron Gwazi. Plus the park lineup in Florida is incredible. Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, SeaWorld Orlando, the Fun Spot Parks, Busch Gardens Tampa, Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and of course the brand new Epic Universe opening up this year. You've got coasters like Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, and Hulk at Islands Islands of Adventure, Iron Gwazi, Monsoon Kumba, Busch Gardens Tampa, Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy at Disney World, Mako, Kraken, Manta, Pipeline, and Icebreaker at SeaWorld. The lineup is absolutely stacked. Even if you don't agree that Florida's coaster lineup is better though, it's at least closer to other parks. Take cities like Tallahassee and Pensacola, which are pretty big cities in Florida. They're at least 4.5 hours away from Atlanta, which has some good coasters. Even if Florida is still far away from other coasters, it's at least closer to California, which is why I think Florida is the better state for coasters. This is basically the only list where you will see freaking Ohio this high. Unlike the last two states, Ohio itself is carried by only 2 parks, but those 2 parks are the ultimate duo of Kings Island and Cedar freaking Point. 2 of the best parks in the country, especially for roller coasters. For Cedar Point, you got Steel Vengeance, which is my favorite coaster I've ever been on, Maverick, which is still in my top 5, Millennium Force is awesome, Gatekeeper is underrated, and then you got Top Thrill 2, hopefully reopening this year, and Siren's Curse also opening this year. Then Kings Island has a remarkable top 5 with Beast, Orion, Mystic Timbers, Diamondback, and Banshee. For the sample city, we're going to use Columbus. You have Kennywood in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania with Phantom's Revenge, which seems to have some of the craziest airtime out there. Kentucky Kingdom is also 3 hours away with the incredible 1-2 punch I previously mentioned. And Holiday World with the legendary Voyage is 4 hours away. That's about it for parks close by, but for roller coasters, it really doesn't get much better than Cedar Point and Kings Island, plus there are other parks in the area. It'd just be more than a 4-hour drive. Pennsylvania has the best balance of an incredible coaster lineup within the state and an amazing surrounding lineup. You have the formerly mentioned Hershey Park, Dorney Park, and Knoebels in eastern Pennsylvania. Then you have Kennywood in western Pennsylvania, along with Waldameer in Erie County, with an awesome looking coaster being Ravine Flyer 2. For the sample city, we're going to use Philadelphia. You have Great Adventure just an hour away. Six Flags America is about 2 hours away. Kings Dominion is about 2.5 hours away. Six Flags New England is about 4 hours away, plus a bunch of other parks I mentioned in the New York, New Jersey area, etc. I'm sold that Pennsylvania is the best state to live in for coasters. But what do you think? Comment down below if you agree or disagree with my list. Also, let me know if you live in any of the states on this list. I'd love to hear your perspective. With that said, I'm out of here. Catch you next time.